join us. You join Earth's mightiest heroes. Not today, sir.
Are you making your voice deeper?
No.
On April 27th, summer begins.
Are you mocking me? He's trying to copy me.
Avengers: Infinity War.
We call Infinity War a smash and grab heist film. You know, it's Thanos is intent on collecting the Infinity Stones, and he's going to move quickly to do it because he knows when word gets out that he's trying to collect the Infinity Stones, that the forces of the universe are going to line up against him. So he's got a ticking clock, and that's kind of the essence of the film. It's a very simple plot.
After Avengers 3 and 4, Marvel Studios will begin a new phase in its universe. Do you feel like you, as directors of some of the biggest movies of the studio, have reached the end of a cycle too?
I mean,
look, we love working with Marvel.
We love it. Yeah, it's been one of the best experiences of our
the
careers.
quality of our experience with the quality of the work, and Marvel, it's always been, both areas have been of the highest you could possibly want or desire. So we've had an amazing experience working with them. You know,
we've been so focused on these movies, though, that we haven't been thinking beyond them.
We'll say, though, that if that Fox deal goes through with Disney, there's a lot more characters to work with all of a sudden. Yeah. Be interesting to do something like Secret Wars.
Wait a minute, Secret Wars? What did he just say? Look at the face on his brother when he says that word. Like, he's just smiling like, oh, yeah, something's coming down the pipeline. I will address the Disney-Fox deal, but there's so much new Avengers stuff to break down. Love the tease for Forces of the Universe. So that's where he's talking about Celestials, he's talking about the Elders of the Universe, the larger cosmic entities moving against Thanos. So I'll address all those people in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because we've mostly been focusing on the Avengers and the Guardians teaming up to fight Thanos. So if you're finding me for the first time, be sure to subscribe to get all the Marvel videos. There's a new round of that Infinity Gauntlet giveaway too. Recently, the trades reported that Fox had been talking to their people about the Disney deal. Like, hey, you're not going to lose your jobs. This is what's going to happen. Conservative estimate, they said the dust is going to settle on everything, and Kevin Feige will get to do whatever he wants to with those Fox characters at the end of next summer, 2019. That doesn't confirm that they're going to add any post-credit scenes or anything like that to Avengers 4. They could work in verbal references. They could do things at the last minute if they know that the deal is going to close. But they can't really cross those characters over unless Kevin Feige makes an arrangement with Fox before the deal closes. Because until the deal closes, all of the power in making that decision where those characters appear still rests with the Fox people. It doesn't really revert to Disney until ink is dry on paper. And what the Fox people are telling their employees is that that's going to be done at the end of the summer 2019. That could happen faster, it could happen later, but they've also revealed some details about the technicalities. They said that the Fox people are basically going to stay in their studio space right now. Disney's going to lease that for the next 7 years, but for the most part, it's about what you'd expect. Like, they'll just get access to that IP. So whatever their plans are for Avengers 5, they can totally do Secret Wars, which is why, you see one of the Russos here sort of smiling into camera as the other one's like, yeah, Secret Wars. Now, I think that kind of crossover is the easiest prediction to make. Everybody's been thinking about that, but the Russos themselves are done with Avengers films after Infinity War. They're not totally done with Marvel, but it does sound like they're going to go and do something else for a couple years before they come back. So whoever does the next Avengers film will be somebody else. But talking about the Celestials, they're the big cosmic people in the Marvel Universe. If they were a big part of the comic book Infinity Gauntlet story, what's going on with them in the movie universe? But it just sounds like from the way they talk about it, they didn't actually write the Celestials as characters into the movie. They might get referenced. Peter Quill referenced eternity, which is probably the biggest concept that Marvel has ever teased next to the multiverse, which opens a whole host of possibilities. But when they say that the forces of the universe will find out what Thanos is doing and move to stop him, they're also talking about the Watchers, the most powerful cosmic beings that we've met so far. I don't really include Dormammu in that because he's not from our universe, he's from the Dark Dimension. But I think they're also teasing a lot of stuff that'll appear during Avengers 4 that we'll see for the first time during the Captain Marvel movie. Like, we've never met the Skrulls. There's whole areas of the universe that we've never traveled to before. Thor Ragnarok was the good example of that. Like, literally the end of the universe where all the trash gets dumped. So if during this Guardians of the Galaxy sequence, you see them bouncing through all these different space portals to go to different areas in the universe, James Gunn has teased that we're going to meet a lot of those people in the next 10 years in the movies. There'll be like a bunch of new cosmic movies that they haven't really talked about yet because I think it's still in the early planning stage. Because I do think we're going to meet more Celestials. We'll probably get more into like the grand concepts. Seriously, think about it this way. If James Gunn did a talking planet, then think about what he's going to do when they get really crazy in Phase 4 and whatever Phase 5 is going to be. Biggest prediction for those new big space-based movies is that they eventually work up to an Ultimates team-up movie, which, could either include Captain Marvel or some of the other new characters. If you're not familiar with that title, Ultimates is like a comic book line that Marvel did, the Ultimate Universe, but it's also the name of a team-up that Black Panther funds that mostly deals with big cosmic concepts, whereas like the Avengers deal with more identifiable villains, like they fight Thanos, they fight the other like physical beings. The Ultimates deal with problems like Galactus, the Superflow. If you're not familiar with the Superflow is, that's sort of like this space outside of reality where cosmic concepts communicate with each other. Do not be surprised in the next 10 years if you see them introduce Blue Marvel, Spectrum, America Chavez. America Chavez is probably a little bit easier to do, Blue Marvel, but I wouldn't be surprised if they use Captain Marvel as sort of the go-between character that does space-based movies sometimes and does Earth-based movies sometimes, because they're always going to be the Avengers crossovers. Those will still be relatively Earth-based. They'll go into outer space. When they cycle the Guardians roster, they'll still be a relatively space-based movie. So there's just a couple easy crossover characters that have one foot in both of those areas that you could serve as like a point of connective tissue between whatever this new cosmic universe is going to be in like the traditional Marvel universe like you see in Spider-Man movies. I know everybody's pushing for Galactus. We'll know something's up if the Marvel people like Kevin Feige, James Gunn come to Comic-Con 2019 for their Marvel panel to announce whatever's happening next, and they're wearing X-Men t-shirts. They'll be the ultimate teaser. They wouldn't even need to tell you what they're doing. Just show up wearing X-Men paraphernalia, and that'll let you know, oh, we're getting ready for a crossover. There was a lot of other Hawkeye that they talked about, a lot of like the missing characters, secret characters like Peter Dinklage, so I'll do a video for that soon. Leave all your Infinity War video requests in the comments below, and I'll name a new giveaway winner when I post new Marvel. But click here to watch Thanos use the Infinity Gauntlet, and click here for that funny behind the scenes video. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.